Another Sunday back at it. The Forever I Love Atlanta Sports Podcast, special edition this Sunday. We're talking a lot of Falcons football. Some of our most respected and friend of the show, returning guests we have with us. And always, I have my co host, the Don. What's going on this Sunday, the Don?
What's good, y'all? How y'all doing this evening? Glad y'all can join us. Um, Today we got a very good episode today,
An
and
esteemed cast.
yes, the Steam Cast, the hometown supporters. That's why I like to call them hometown supporters
Yeah.
because they really did. They have done a lot to pretty much get us off the ground. We really appreciate that. Um, if y'all watching this video, please hit that like button. Please comment in the comment section. We're gonna have the live chat open, and we're gonna read y'all comments and everything. And also, please subscribe to the channel. All right, we really appreciate the support when you subscribe to our channel. As always, come
Come
holla
holla
at your
at your hometown
hometown sports
sports
podcast.
podcast.
All right, let everybody else, y'all go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Man,
Go
ain't
ahead,
nothing,
Lieutenant
man.
Dan.
Oh,
Oh, I'm
okay.
sorry, man.
All right.
Mike.
How's it going, everybody? It's your boy, Lieutenant Dan here from Unintentional Grounding. Hope you guys are having a wonderful Sunday. It's been a hot minute since I've been on the show, and been a hot minute since I've done my own live show, but that's just because I'm taking an extended break. You know, it's after you do so many shows leading up to the draft and you've done all that draft coverage, you know, you're burnt out a little bit. So taking a little break over here, but you know, hanging with y'all.
We appreciate it. I didn't mean to cut you off, man. Mike, go ahead and let them know who you are and where they can find you at.
Man, y'all see how y'all treat me, man. Every time I come on here, y'all just showing out, man. Y'all just
I was just
Stop
going
playing
in
the
the order of
victim,
the.
bro. Stop
man.
playing the victim, bro. Stand up for yourself.
I was going in the order of the squares. The order of the squares.
It's your boy Mad Mike, man, from Mad Mike Sports on YouTube, Mad Mike Sports, Instagram, and Twitter, man. That's all I got to say about that, man. Y'all already know who I am. No need to go back.
See, man, I had to go in there and I had to fire him up and then suddenly, all of a sudden, Happy Mike comes in here and starts saying stuff. All right, there we go.
we
Pat,
need
what's
Mad
going on, man?
Mike. Yeah, we want Mad Mike, not Happy Mike.
Oh,
Nobody likes Happy Mike.
Oh man, man, same thing. Man, Mike said, man, I'm the real Pat, man. I don't think I need to been on here enough time. I don't think I need to say anything further, man. You guys can find me on Twitter at the real Pat, man.
All right.
Mhm.
All
um,
right. By the way, if y'all watching unintentional grounding, the YouTube channel for that, the link for that YouTube channel and Matt Mike Sports, his YouTube channel, both links are in the description. So if y'all watching this, y'all can go ahead and subscribe to that channel if you haven't. Um, so this week we have lost a great friend, a great Atlanta Falcon fan, Tommy Spriggle. He was a huge Falcons fan. He lost his life to cancer, and I know I have a few friends who are also Falcons fans who knew Tommy as well. You know, it's really messed up when you lose someone. You know, especially the cancer. I lost a lot of family. You know, to cancer, and it hurts. You know, so at
F
the
cancer,
time,
man.
hmm,
F cancer, man.
yes, F cancer. So at this time, we just go take a just a moment of silence and remembrance for Tommy. All right, rest in peace, Tommy. If you guys watching this video, if you guys want to donate, his family set up a GoFundMe account. His link is also in the description as well. You know, I've donated some money as well, and I'm gonna probably end up donating more when I get paid this Friday. So if y'all can just show your love and show your support and go ahead and donate to Tommy's family. So
And the second to that, I have I actually dedicated a video also on Mad Mike Sports. The video is still up. I will have it in my community tab. So you guys go subscribe to Mad Mike Sports. Check out this video. The link to that GoFundMe page is in the link in the description, also in the comments. So, just got to stick together, man. Life is already, hard, difficult, ups and downs. But one thing about this Falcons Nation, man, is Atlanta the Sportcast, also my channel, Dan DaReal Pattman. We look at this as a family, man. So, Falcons fans, if you guys can, just show any type of love. It doesn't have to be much. If you got 50 cents, $1, it doesn't matter, man. It goes to help his family and in this, time of need, because, like you said, this is life. It can affect us at any given moment. So just try your best to, just to spread love, man. It's all about spreading love, man. Love and positivity. All right, now let's get to it, man. All this happy Mike shit is getting on my nerves.
Wow.
Announcement from the FILA Sports Podcast team. Thanks to my co-host Don. We are now on Spotify and Google Podcasts. You can find us. My partner is tech savvy with all that type of stuff. I'm the one that went to IT school, so go figure. But special shouts out. That is all credit to the Don. He did that, so now you can check out your boys on different platforms. So shout out to the Don. Make sure you check us out on Google and Spotify.
Yeah, I know a lot of you guys, you guys support us, and y'all say, "Well, I can't watch 50 minutes or an hour of y'all show, and I'd rather listen to it." And I know YouTube sometimes, when you get out of the app, it cuts off. So if you listen to it on Spotify or Google Podcasts, they continue to play. You can just press pause, and you can also seek it in your car as well. So I've really tried my hardest to get it on there. Now for my iTunes and Apple podcasters who like to listen to Apple podcast, it's on its way. It's on its way. We gonna get it on there. It's on its way. Just give me time.
All right. And we know y'all ready to get to this Falcons talk, so let's run through the week in Atlanta sports real quick. Don.
All right. Atlanta United. They played Wednesday against Vancouver, and we won that game 1-0. And today we went to New York and really didn't play that well, and we lost that game 1-0. So kind of a like seesaw week for the United. Hopefully we can get back to our winning ways the next time we play. Also this week, Atlanta Dream, the women's National Basketball Association, WNBA, they had a practice game against Washington, and we lost that game 75-64. So.
And since we last talked to you guys on Tuesday, the Braves, we've been on a homestand. So we had St. Louis here on Wednesday. We dropped that 4-0. We came back and played them Thursday, and we won that 10-2. On Friday, we were home against Milwaukee, and we won that one 8-12. And yesterday, in 10 innings, we won that one 3-5. Freddie Freeman walk-off home run. And today, it went 10 innings as well, and we dropped it 3-2. Braves, I told y'all last Sunday when we talked about the Braves that we need to get on a 7-3, 8-2 type win streak. Well, if you take today's game out, the previous 10, we were 7-3. We climbed to second in the standings, and like I said, I told you guys, I know it's really, really early, but looking at the wild card picture, we gained a little ground there too. So decent 2-week stretch in the Braves. So you're gonna look at it every 2 weeks. Decent 2-week stretch for the Braves. I'm sorry. Have to mention. Look, Don over there like don't skip this. Johnny Venters was released, and some guy named Austin Riley came up, and he's doing pretty good. If you heard of him, I'm being sarcastic, man. I'm being sarcastic.
No, bro. This is hometown Sport Podcast. Show some respect.
Oh
Show some
man.
respect, bro. What's wrong with
y'all
you?
threw my whole stick off, man. I was about to get a man this dude, man. Y'all messed up my whole Austin Riley, man. He's a 23-year-old called up. He's been playing third base. We tried him out in left field a couple weeks ago in Gwinnett. We brought him up. He played third base today, but we been playing him in the outfield. This guy comes up and he is absolutely raking. He's hitting for power. Just missed another home run the other day. Went 3 for 4 in one game. This guy, like I said, is absolutely raking right now, killing the ball. Not looking good for Ender and CRT right now, especially if this guy is on the power serve. So you got to ride it.
It doesn't look good for Nick Markakis. I don't think
Markakis, that's the thing.
I don't think they can afford to get rid of
Ender
at this moment.
Okay.
For the simple fact that I know Ronald Acuna can play center field, but I wouldn't. That's a lot of wear and tear on him. And as a superstar, this guy's a superstar hitter. You don't want to, you hit some wear and tear on your superstar. You want to make it easy as possible for him. Let him play right field. Let him play left field. Center field is a demanding position. All right, that's a demanding position. You don't want him to be in center field. So
one thing. Looking at Austin Riley, that dude is huge. Man, how big is he?
You know, he reminds me of.
I wonder if you're gonna say the same thing I'm thinking. Go ahead.
It's a mixture of Albert Bell as well as Pujols, but his swing is I don't know exactly what his swing is. But
his swing is not as clean as Aaron Judge's, but he looks like Aaron Judge.
Right.
Yes, he's huge. Yes. That kid is huge. How big is he?
Like,
I gotta
I think he's 6'5". No, I think he's 6'3", 220 when I looked at his profile.
That dude is
man. He looks huge.
You know what his swing remind me of? And then a lot of you guys, y'all probably gonna say who? Back then, the Angels, they had back in the late '90s when they won the World Series in 2001. His swing remind me a lot like Troy Glaus. Like when Troy Glaus was
that's who it is. I know it was somebody. It's Troy Glaus. Yeah, that's who it is. It's Troy Glaus.
Good one, Don. Good one.
Yeah, he was on the Troy Glaus played for the Braves for I think a year or so back in 2000.
Yes.
He did. He did at the end.
That's exactly who it is.
And not to be left out, Freddie Freeman is on a tear as well. He's on the power surge right now. What he had 4 straight, home runs in 4 straight games. Hit number 200 today. Hit home run number 200. Freddie is on the power surge right now. With moving Acuna back to first and the emergence of Austin Riley, these guys are seeing a lot of fastballs right now. Because if Acuna gets on base, he's hitting with the speed. Like I said, we're seeing fastballs, and we're on a power surge. You don't want to throw those fastballs.
That's so great for Freddie. This is lineup just for Freddie Freeman.
Yes.
That's the scary part about it. You got to pitch to Freddie.
So all right, and we're gonna keep moving because we're gonna not talk about the pitching, but. Obviously, you heard that we gave up.
It's fucking garbage.
It is trash. It's trash.
Get some arms out there.
Get it. It got to be coming, Lieutenant. It got to be coming soon.
I hope, because
we're about to get to June, and we're still in contention, so it's got to be coming.
If we don't get no pitches by All-Star break, man, I'm just gonna be upset.
Hey man, I'm gonna say this, man. The Braves have probably the best farm system in Major League Baseball. There's no reason why our pitching staff should be this bad.
Man, dude, look. We have dudes like Austin Riley. We have Punche. We have superstars. And we still get number 1 picks. I mean, we have guys. We certainly have bats to trade for arms. But like I said,
and we have pitchers in the farm. We have pitchers in the farm.
We have some young guys. Yeah.
Well, yo, you see that kid that I think he was playing today, man? That kid that's tearing it up for the Stripers?
Yeah.
Like they bring them boys coming out like an assembly line, man.
We gonna have to like get rid of some people, man.
The Braves finally made a farm system that's worth a damn, and it's like I know you guys probably don't remember very well, but if you do remember, our farm system was the absolute worst. We were going after free agents like every single year to try to like change how things were going.
Under Frank Wren.
It wasn't good. It wasn't good enough. And so finally, you know, farm system is kind of showing out. And now you can afford to kind of wheel and deal some of these prospects and acquire, you know, just a little pitching here or just a little pitching there. If you can get a couple of these guys to stay red hot, have the depth still, and then use some of these guys to go get yourselves some quality pitching in the next offseason or the, you know, offseason after that, you know. But they're gonna need to add some pitching soon, because if they don't, they're gonna lose some of these close games that they easily have the bats for to win.
For real. Yeah.
All
right. In our college news, not much in the UGA front. Kirby said he's not leaving. Tech. He was asked the question. He was in his hometown yesterday, and he was asked the question: would he ever leave? Do Alabama? And he was like, "Why would I ever leave?" Tech news: former Michigan defensive back Miles Sams transfers to Tech.
I don't know why. I don't know why he left Michigan, but hey,
I do.
You know, good luck. Hey, good luck at Tech. That's all I'm gonna say.
Good old Harbaugh up there.
Yeah, Harbaugh is just they really need to give him one more year, and after this year, if he can't beat Ohio State, they just need to go on and send him on his way.
Football team wearing jump.
I'm not talking about Michigan right now because this podcast is not designed for Michigan.
Yeah.
This is
the football thing wearing.
I know it's not. I know it's not a topic, but I do want to quickly say that this is the exact same stuff that we've seen in Atlanta with Dan Quinn, where a guy takes over. He wants his guys. He wants his recruits. He wants his free agents. He wants his drafted guys. And yet, at the end of the day, the process is taking too long and people are getting fed up, and they're not going to give him enough time to do what he needs to do. But Harple's an idiot anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Look, man, I'm just sorry. Like, it's been 4 or 5 years. If you can't beat Ohio State, and he had 2 good games and he had 2 opportunities to beat them, like, that's a problem. Like, Brady Hope beat Ohio State at least in his tenure. Okay,
maybe Mitch.
What's the hype around? Like, why is he so beloved in the media? Like, I don't understand. 85 is a long time ago. Right? This thing 20, 30 years ago. 85 is not here. What's the love? Why do they love him so much? I don't get it.
I don't know neither.
Just, yeah.
That bland offense is just
Tech baseball news: they clinched the ACC Coastal Division, and that's big because they were preseason picked 5th in the Coastal, so they were picked 5th on their side, and they clinched the Coastal. So they came out of nowhere. Nobody saw that coming. So good job, Tech baseball. Hawks. News came out that Trae Young is a finalist for NBA Rookie of the Year. I don't really think that's news.
They'll screw
him. Yeah.
They'll screw him.
Yeah. I only think that's news though that he's a finalist. Like, yeah. I think
man, you know, a small part of me
knew that.
A small part of me hopes they screw Trae Young out of this award so he can absolutely destroy the league next year. Set the league on fire. Oh.
That's the Atlanta sports dialogue.
Working out mad, huh? Yeah. And NBA rookie camp, the Hawks have invited for workouts. They start their workouts again tomorrow, and tomorrow they will have guard Devon Dotson in from Kansas, Arik Holman from Mississippi State, a forward, another guard John Conchar, Indiana, Purdue, Fort Wayne, and we'll have another guard Peyton Pritchard from Oregon, a forward Trey Trinkle from Oregon State, Obi Toppin from Dayton, another forward, and will be Hawks mock draft will be coming in a couple weeks. So that is all on the Hawks. You can tune out and check on the Hawks web page, and you can see the different guys they've had in for workouts. And check out NBA TV, and you can see some of the workouts.
All right. All right. Now to the meat and potatoes of the show. This week, we found out Scott Pioli had stepped down as the assistant GM for the Atlanta Falcons. Some people was like, yeah, like he's leaving is not gonna really be a big deal to the team, and like some people like me, like I'm thinking like, well, he pretty much from when he got here in 2015 until like this past draft has pretty much helped us, scout and draft players that we've been drafting these past 4 or 5 years. And it could hurt us, but I talked to Pat, and I talked to Lieutenant Dan earlier this week. And also Matt Mike, we also said that it may be somebody in the front office who's working on the Pioli like a scout, who's probably ready to take that step up to be Thomas Dimitrov's assistant. So, what do you guys think on this issue?
I like Pioli. I think that hurts us. I like Dimitrov. He's a contract guy. I don't love him in the draft. I like Pioli. I think that hurts us.
All right, Lieutenant Dan.
I sit in the seat of it. You could acquire all the players in the entire world and get some of the the best talent out of the draft, or you have a guy that's a talent evaluator that knows what you're looking for and goes into free agency and finds some guys. But at the end of the day, if your coaching is not up to par, then it absolutely does not matter who you acquire in the draft. I mean, if we look at it just from a recent coaching perspective with Mike Smith, they did acquire quite a bit of talent and never developed that talent. And so even though, looking at just like Matt Ryan and Julio Jones and Jake Matthews during their time there in Atlanta, I mean, you can even put Robert Alford and Desmond Trufant into that basket as well. But of those guys that were acquired, think of all the other guys that they acquired through the draft process, and they just didn't pan out because Mike Smith didn't want to take the time to develop those guys. Meanwhile, here in the Dan Quinn era, yes, Pioli was here and brought in some guys that he believes in the offense and on defensive lines that can help Dan. But if Dan's still not developing all the other guys on that line, then it does not matter. So I sit in that seat right there. I sit on that side of the docket, because I just believe that Thomas Dimitrov, before Pioli got here, was supplying quite a bit of talent to Mike Smith, and it's a brain trust. It's not one person making the decisions there in Atlanta. I mean, they said it during the draft process before McGarry and Lindstrom were picked, that they look at every single player as a unit, and they don't ever disagree. They always, if they ever have a problem, they always look at things together and figure it all out. It wasn't just Pioli making these decisions, and it wasn't just Dimitrov making these decisions. It was the team as a whole. Can they replace him? Yeah. I mean, but will you lose a great mind? Yes. So, I mean, it still comes down to coaching, though.
Okay. Man, Mike?
Well, I think one aspect of the team that we're totally dismissing and not paying enough attention to is just when we look back at Mike Smith's tenure, we knew that Matt Ryan was going to ball. We knew Julio was going to ball. Everything else was pretty much up
Question marks
in the air. Like, we knew that Matt Ryan was going to pass. That's all we knew. And we knew that we had, a style difference. Thomas Dimitrov wanted to be more of his own scheme running, and Mike Smith wanted to be a power. So there was an internal struggle as far as the system is concerned. And now we have Thomas Dimitrov and Dan Quinn, who are pretty much on the same page. And this goes back to what Dan was saying. when you have a head coach and the GM who are battling each other with philosophies, that doesn't bode well for the talent. And like he said before, if you have that struggle, it doesn't matter who you draft. Doesn't matter who you draft because you don't know what you how you going to utilize the guy if the guy if you're trying to run a power running scheme and you got outside zone running like that. That's the issue that the Falcons had back in the Mike Smith era. Two guys, just two different philosophies, and now you have a head coach, Dan Quinn and Thomas Dimitrov, and it makes it a lot easier to draft players now to fit that scheme because they're on the same page. And like I said, I I like Scott Peel is a talent evaluator, but I don't think it'll be a major loss. I don't think it'll be a major loss.
And to say this, Dan Quinn, I really think that, like, yes, we know he's head coach. Yes, we know he's a defensive mind coach as well. But as a scouter, as a talent scouter, he's good at that. So I think we should be fine. And like I said this earlier when I talked to y'all a couple of days ago. If Thomas Dimitrov and Dan Quinn didn't learn anything from Scott Pioli those 4 or 5 years, then I don't know what to tell you. Like I really don't know what to tell you because he's been there for 5 years, and we're going to pretty much see in the 2020 draft how we draft. If it continues how the way we've been drafting these previous 5 years, then we know they pretty much did their homework. We know that they can do it without Pioli. Now, if we do a whole different, we go left and we draft totally different. We know, okay, well, this is what's going to end up happening. But I don't want to make predictions to the 2020 draft to after this season, so that's pretty much what I'm just gonna say on that. Pat, what you think?
Oh man, I've been giving it a lot of thought, man. Talking with Dan and Mad Mike, we collide on a lot of things, but when we get together, man, and we start talking to each other, it starts making a lot of sense. And here's the thing I will say. Scott Pioli has done a fantastic job helping with the draft with Thomas Dimitrov, with Dan Quinn, everybody collaborating together. He's been here. He was here for way too long for what we have produced in terms of the draft. Scott Pioli should have been gone like 2 or 3 years ago, if you think about it. So it was kind of overdue for him to leave anyways. I feel good where the team is at. It would be different if we had nothing. If we were kind of like the New York Jets, Matt Ryan's about to jump off a cliff. Saying we got a rookie quarterback. We don't know who we're going to have catching the football. Our defense is all over the place. If we lost a guy like Pioli in that kind of a sense, I would worry. But we have, for the most part, we have the meat and potatoes of this roster already set and here for years to come. So filling in those blanks, I don't think it's going to be as big of a deal. And then the Falcons are slowly and quietly bringing a lot of talented guys onto the team that have many years of experience in different schemes. Like Bob Sutton, Sports Illustrated published an article saying that he was actually in the DB room with the DBs. And, we've been told all season that he was not going to do anything with the defense. But this man is yet, helping with parts of the defense during rookie minicamp. So a guy like him who also came from the Chiefs, man, has over 30 years of experience as a coach. I can see them slowly pushing him towards a front office position. And as well, man, it's like Dan and Matt Mike always say, Arthur Blank doesn't do anything without a contingency plan. You know what I'm saying? So if Scott Pioli is going to go, you best believe Arthur Blank knew about this months in advance that this man was potentially going to be looking to leave the team eventually. So you got to think that there had been somebody that brought in already on staff that had just as much experience as he did so that he can make an easy transition to the next assistant GM.
All right. That was a good analysis right there. So, let me go into the chat. That Georgia boy 17 said my condolences to Tommy, And he also said this podcast sponsored by Wish Mario. And he also said that Austin Riley is the GOAT. Jonathan Folsky said, when I see Riley, his face look like Luka Doncic to me. Let's see if we trade him too. We're not trading. Huh?
Good gracious. Man, you got some crazy people, man.
That Georgia boy 17 said Braves have two good pitchers, Soraka and Freed.
Free, yes, sir.
Yeah, that's it. That's pretty much it. And then that Georgia boy 17, he was laughing at what Mario said in the chat. So, okay, mini cap was OTA. OTAs will begin tomorrow for the Falcons. The mini count will start on June 11th, and it'll wrap up on June 13th. So, also there's been some headlines this week. I know NFL Network, they did like a rebuild or reload topic. And what do you guys think after this draft? Do y'all think it's rebuild or y'all think we reload? It's a reload. I don't think we
hold on. You said the Falcons?
Yes.
What the why in the hell would we rebuild?
No, this is the NFL, the NFL Network, they pretty much, throughout the draft picks and stuff, they had topics, either rebuild or reload. Some people said reload, most people said reload, some people said rebuild, but
what are we reloading? What are we reloading?
We reloaded our offensive line.
No. Like, are they talking about this past year or are they talking about next year?
They talking about what we did this offseason already.
Okay.
Go ahead, Dan. You're right on. We're on the same page. Go ahead, Dan.
No, I don't know. I feel like I'm about to become Mad Mike for just a second. Why are we even having? Okay, look. This is a good conversation to have. It's a good conversation to have. But the thing is like, was this a rebuild or a reload? It's obviously not a rebuild because a rebuild is like you don't have a starting quarterback, you don't have a center and a left tackle, you have no defensive lineman. I mean, Mario's shaking his head right now, like, yeah, like I mean, we all agree here in this chat right now. This ain't a rebuild. Okay, so now let's talk about a reload. What the fuck is that supposed to mean? A reload?
Didn't everybody draft? Didn't everybody reload?
Everybody drafted, and
everybody gets a chance to sign free agents.
I mean, your Super Bowl champions from last year drafted too. So I mean,
and you got a chance to sign free agents.
Everybody's supposed to reload.
You're supposed to get younger.
So how about this? How about we reword what they're talking about with another word?
Retool.
No pun intended. Retool. Let's talk about retooling. Pat just shared actually something in the chat just a second ago about pressures and sacks, percentages and so on and so forth. Kind of talking a little bit about year to year and how each position has led up amount of sacks and pressures. And if you look at last year, both the right guard and the right tackle were absolutely atrocious. And that's on Ryan Trader and well, we had like 4 guys playing right guard. So, I mean, that was a turnstile. But, you kind of look at left guard as well was also another position that led up quite a few pressures and whatnot. This was what I would call a retool. And the reason why I would call it a retool is because when you went into this draft, every draft you're looking for starters. You're never, ever in any year are you going to be looking for just backups through the whole draft. And we all know that for a fact. Like, not a single team will ever be. We have all, 22 starters ready to go on defense and on offense. And we also have quality backups already. We're just drafting for backups. No team does that. That's nonsense. Every team is always retooling. So, to me, adding a right guard, adding a right tackle of the future just screams retool to me. Like, you're just adding pieces, even though you already have some depth pieces there. You're just adding pieces back to what you already have. And I mean,
Dan,
I don't know, man.
I like to think of it as we created competition. And when you create competition, you improve your whole roster. We created competition at the guard spot. The best guy will win. We signed a safety, and we're bringing safeties back off injury. The emergence of KZ, even though we know he's going to play slot corner. When you talk about the different dime and nickel packages we can do, we've created competition. And that competition is going to trickle down, like I said, to special teams, because now the special teams guys will be better. So I like that we created competition, and I think that improves the whole roster.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that wholeheartedly. I mean,
retooling though.
you know, it's still
Yeah.
it's still retooling in its finest. So we all know for a fact that you know you're always going in for starters. You're always going in for players. You're never trying to draft just backups. I mean, Sheffield and Jordan Miller are most likely not going to be backups for very long. They're going to probably slot into some position somewhere. I mean, Quadri Olison, we talk about him, and I love how the articles recently, and Mad Mike and Pat can talk about this a little bit too, but yeah, have you guys noticed like all of the Falcons media out there going, who's going to be the second running back? Like Ito Smith doesn't exist or something, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and so then everybody's on this Brian Hill train too. Like, oh, Brian Hill's going to make the team. He's got to do it. We just drafted Quadri Olison. Like, obviously that means that we're not very high on Brian Hill. Like, we just not.
Or Kenyon Varner
to make this team.
Or what about Kenyon Varner?
And, well, what about this Marcus Green kid that we just drafted? We've got him listed as a running back and wide receiver. So potentially he could either get in one of those two spots. He could be, let's put it this way. I think the Falcons are going to carry like 4 or 5 running backs on this team.
Hey, once again, we created competition, and those guys are going to be special teamers. Those guys are going to be special teamers. So we, it's always a great thing when you have guys on your special team who will be starters other places. You got a good roster. Hey, the injury bug hits you. The gap is not the gap is not so big. The fall off between the starter and the second guy.
And a lot of people focus so much on McGarry and Lindstrom. We drafted those guys to protect Matt Ryan. Think about this, and think about the stat that we had running the ball last year. It's horrible. All right.
I'm glad you said that because I got a stat for you. Man.
Yes, Mike Mularkey was brought in. All right. Yes, as a tight end coach. Cool. Okay. Whatever make y'all sleep at night, that's fine. But I really think Mike Mularkey was also brought here to help our running game.
Well, I mean, Chris Morgan too. Those guys are going to be hand in hand with that.
Exactly. So when you have those guys on your staff and how we drafted these running backs, we're going to run the ball a lot. And if you look at tape from Chris Lindstrom at Boston College, this man was a beast in the run game, like blocking, getting up to the second level, washing out linebackers.
Just watch one of Dan's videos. Just watch on his breakdown. You will see how nasty he is.
And McGarry as well. McGarry's a great run blocking as well.
And also to like throw on top of your point there, because like everything that we've been saying tonight has been awesome. But like, because we're going to be running more, we need more running backs, which just goes back to what we were just saying just a second ago. We're going to carry quite a few running backs on this squad. Like, get ready for at least 4 guys plus maybe a 5th guy that's playing like returner and getting a couple snaps. Because we're going to be running so much, Devontae Freeman is not a
feature back.
Well, like he's just not going to do it on his own. He's always needed some extra people to help him out. So like, if he's not going to take the full workload, then that means Ito Smith is going to get some carries. Which, if Ito Smith is also kind of the same as Devontae Freeman in his running style and how much of a workload he's carried, then that means that Quadri Olison's going to get some carries, and down and down and down and down, because we're going to keep switching these guys out because we're going to be running so heavy.
Man, Mike,
to kind of point out, and like I said, I've been trying to get my Pattman on with these stats, man.
Yeah, where you at, Pat,
Oh
bro?
man, I'm here.
You
I'm
sitting
listening,
back
man.
here, bro.
Pat is brilliant with his stats, man. He got me on this DVOA. But when you look at the power success for the Falcons, they've been absolutely atrocious when it comes down to like third and short situations. Um, just listen to this stat, man. They are absolutely when it comes to power success, third and ones, goal line situation, third and two and whatnot. These guys are 27th in the league, man. 27th in the league. Okay. Almost dead freaking last when it comes down to converting on these short yardage situations. What that signifies is that they're not extending drives, which absolutely and what actually Julio Jones kind of mentioned that earlier in last season, late in last season when he was talking about the offense is trying to help run defense. And this is why Dan Quinn is not so worried about defensive line. I know that's probably going to send Dan up a fucking tree. But,
Oh no, I'm already heated. But you just do your thing, man. You do your thing.
Oh man,
but it helps the run defense when you can extend drives, get those third and two. And Pat, tell him your the stat with Devontae Freeman. I know you got that somewhere.
Oh boy,
in that
more
brilliant
heat.
Brian of yours.
yeah, man. Oh man, that was a few months ago. But yeah, Devontae Freeman, man, he's consistently been like top 10 in the league. In terms of his like elusiveness, and then if you look at like the amount of time, basically the amount of yards that he's picked up after contact is pretty much insane. He's always consistently like in the top 10. I don't remember the exact number because I got it buried somewhere. But yeah, it's pretty good, man. I just pulled up on Football Outsiders talking about the run blocking, and the Falcons were O-line was 24th in the league. Um, they were 27th, I think, just like Mike was saying when it comes to power, which means they're ranked 27th, so 25.3%. That's just the amount of the percentage of runs that ended it that were stuffed, basically. And no surprise, we were 31st in the league in that department. So out of all our runs, 25.3% of them were stuffed. That means no gain or loss. And then again, some weird stuff like we ranked second in the league in terms of open field, which means once our linebackers got to the second and third level, we were the second best team at running. So once they got there, our backs were really good. But man, you can't, you know what I'm saying? Here's the thing, man. Matt Ryan, we already talked about Matt Ryan's getting older. A lot of people are like, he's only 34, but he's getting up there in age. But the thing is, man, like, if this team wants to take the next step, they have to be able to establish the run, man. You look at any team that's consistently successful, they all have the ability to run the ball. I think Chuck Smith said it himself. If you want to improve your pass rush, you improve your ability to score points. You improve your ability to run the ball, right? Because if a team knows that they can march up and down the field on you, if their coach knows that your offense can grind them out on the ground and eat up clock, that puts pressure on the offensive coordinator to be more aggressive in throwing the ball, because they're gonna be, hey man, it's 2 minutes. If they get the ball back, I'm not gonna see the ball again. So it just kind of dictates what you want a team to do.
When you break it down, NFL teams average about 12 possessions per game. So if you just think about it in just in common sense terms, the longer you have the ball, the other team doesn't have the ball. Running the ball chews up more clock. So if you can take that NFL team from averaging 12 possessions that Sunday to giving them 8, 9, or 10 possessions, that's less time for less opportunities for them to score. So that run offense is like definitely helps out your defense, period. Being able to run the ball and extend drives, just keeping the ball away from the other team, especially when you play in a division with quarterbacks who can make plays. I mean, Drew's slowing down, but Drew's can still make plays, and we have a guy like Cam Newton in our division who can pick up third down with his legs. So you always want to limit those guys' possessions, you know. they don't have the ball, they can't score.
You weren't gonna say anything about good old crab legs, bro? Like
I was about to say,
you left them out, bro.
yeah, man.
Hey,
Hey,
look,
he do be killing us though.
Look, put like this. When Tampa Bay drafted Jameis Winston, I jumped up and down for joy because I knew that dude was never gonna be nothing. I was like, yes, way to go.
Apparently, Bruce Arians believes in him, man. Like
time of possession means a lot in this league in the NFL. You know, it does. If you look at the Patriots and look at their stats against their opponents, and you go look at time of possession, New England is always in that column. You know, having more time with the ball than the other teams.
And having the lead in the fourth quarter or late in the game has a lot to do with that as well, because a lot of teams just run the ball in that situation.
Exactly. So
Yeah, I mean, you guys make a point, man. And then also, I mean, we got Matt Ryan, man. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the league in terms of using a lot of play action. So I mean, if you look at the difference between 2016 and 2017, a lot of people kind of look at Taylor Gabriel, but one of the reasons why Gabriel was so dangerous in 2016 was teams had to drop a safety to the box to stop the run. And when you do that, you get one-on-one coverage because obviously they're going to shade their other safety towards Julio Jones every single time. So now you got Taylor Gabriel, and then you got Mohamed Sanu in this case in 2016. Both those guys are consistently one-on-ones wherever else we put on the field, right? So 2017, we couldn't run the ball. That safety ain't got to drop into the box now. He can stay deep, which takes away Taylor Gabriel because he's a pure speed guy, right? So you look at 2018, couldn't run the ball, but teams still had to keep both safeties back because of Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley. So you got to think, in 2019, if we can consistently run the ball, all of a sudden you got to pick your poison, man. You're either going to drop your safety to help out in the run game, and you're going to get torched deep, or you're going to keep your safety deep so you don't get torched, but now you're getting chewed up on the ground, man. So that's another benefit. And then play action passes off of that as well, man. Opens up a lot of stuff downfield for big plays.
it's the age-old saying that the run opens up the pass, and you know, one of the greatest weapons for Matt Ryan has always been play action rollouts, or you know, quick play action with, you know, quick throws over the middle of the field hitting Julio. I mean, if you go back and watch that Panthers game against the Atlanta Falcons from a few years back, where we lit them up for 300 yards or something like that just with Julio, a lot of that was play action. A lot of that was misdirection, and then having Julio cut across the field. So if we can run more effectively, Pat and Don and Mike and all, and you know, the rest of you guys, that, you know, we will be a more complete team if we can run the ball more effectively, because it will open up Matt Ryan's strength, which is going into hurry up and going into play action and doing those types of things.
And then you know, furthermore, when the other team is running the ball on you and you're not sustaining drives, you're losing in the fourth quarter, and now you're putting the tired defense on the field, and they're getting the ball run down the throat because you keep putting them on the field, and we saw that in the not to be mentioned game. You know.
Yeah, there's 64 plays. If I remember correctly, a college coach once told me you're gonna have 64 offensive plays a game, and those plays, you have specific drawn out stuff for each game to try to take on people's weaknesses. But one of your biggest efforts is to always stay true to your game. So if 25% of the plays that we're going to be running per game are run plays, or maybe even a higher percentage of that, maybe around 40-something%, then this team's balance will begin to show, because it will open up, you know, opportunities for the passing game, which, I mean, we have enough great wide receivers on this team.
Yeah, Dan, in college, you hear guys say a lot. We have 60 to score 40. We got 60 plays to score 40 points, because in college, 30 won't win the game all the time.
yeah. That's well.
Yeah. Looking in the chat real quick, Don. Charles Nelson, he was like, he was agreeing that we are reloading the banana clip, and that Georgia boy said, I'm just waiting to see the power run game and them kill the clock this year. And he also said, Chuck Smith said, the Falcons said, putting up the points and controlling the clock will certainly help this defense. Certainly. Because like I said, when you put up points, like we just said, you can run the ball, slow things down, keep the other team's offense off the field.
Yep. That's right, and and to all these Vic Beasley haters, Vic Beasley's up. Let's hold on. Let's run the ball when we had the ball. Let's run the ball, okay? Have our defense, rest up. That way, Vic Beasley won't be taking 800 snaps in one season. That's too many snaps for a defensive end.
Oh,
Wait. I know you saw it, Pat, because I saw you comment to him. What was the idiot? Some writer put this week that we're probably gonna cut Vic Beasley in training camp. Like, bro, do you know anything about the Falcons? That would be the dumbest thing ever.
That was the dumbest tweet I ever
Guaranteed
seen.
money, so we're gonna cut him after paying them guaranteed money. Man, do these guys have Google? Like, bro,
if they wanted to trade Beasley, they would have drafted his replacement.
Only you wouldn't guarantee his money.
Yeah.
We would have traded him.
Because if you cut him, you incur a $12.8 million dead cap hit, which means you're not signing Grady. You're not going to extend Julio Jones. You're probably not going to give Deion Jones a contract because you're going to be in the hole so many. So that means you'd have to cut more players just to get back to level ground in terms of the cap.
That's dumb.
Stupid, man.
That was an idiot.
Like I said, after this draft ended and got some time to really think about how the team is kind of mapped out now, because, your initial feelings of how a draft goes down are usually, as a fan or as an announcer, like, how does this immediately help the team? But I'm a futures thinker, so I always think, at least a year or two ahead. And looking at kind of Vic Beasley, how this draft went down and how Vic Beasley has only got one more year, there's only two outcomes that go down from this particular road that we're going down, which is, number one, Vic Beasley plays at a high level under Dan Quinn and earns a new contract under Dan Quinn. Or B, this team sees Vic Beasley, whether he balls out or not, leave this team into free agency next year, and the Falcons go and get the replacement that they're looking for in this coming draft in 2020. For those that want to hate on Vic Beasley, I've got only one thing to say. We don't have the time for your nonsense. And it just really, it's not that a lot of us don't want to respond to Vic Beasley hate or try to prove you wrong. But at the end of the day, even we have to sit back and say, we don't know what Vic Beasley is going to be in 2019, or 2019, We don't know what he's going to be in 2019 because Dan Quinn's taking the reins and he's taking it over himself. And I thought early on in this process that Vic Beasley was pretty much a goner. And I'll eat my crow, but I won't eat the whole pie because I don't even know what Vic Beasley is going to be for 2019. He could bust out in 2019, or he could ball out. And then, I'll root him on like a good old Clemson Falcons fan that I am. And hopefully he is able to get a new contract with his team if he does ball out. If he busts out, then, you wasted 5 years on a guy who's a utility player, basically. And you need to go get yourself a real defensive end, which is not Dan Quinn's style, but, you can't rely on tact to do it all.
Exactly. Let's look back in the chat. Antonio Stark. Good joining us tonight. He said no more excuses for Matty Ice. What do you mean by that?
And this is where I leave the show and finish watching Money in the Bank, because I ain't getting into a Matt Ryan conversation.
I got something to say about some other YouTube podcaster about this later. What do you mean? Like, Matt Ryan has never made an excuse about anything.
We're not making excuses for him.
We're not making excuses for him as well. But we'll
excuses about what? What did he have to make an excuse for?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Look, this is the issue that I have. Who in the hell said a quarterback does it all on his own? Tom Brady has never done it on his own. Look, he gets so much praise.
Man, Mike.
So much praise,
hey,
bro.
man,
Man, Mike, I've had so many arguments over this because I tell people
How many times have we seen the Patriots defense
are
make a key stop, an interception, and big time moments, and Tom Brady benefits from it? Like, who the hell? What the hell?
Thank you. The last 4 or 5 years.
Look,
The last
man,
4 or 5
I
years,
gotta
the
say
defense
this.
hasn't
Hold on.
Man.
Let man Mike talk.
I gotta say this. Like, this is the issue that I have. We look at quarterbacks and say they are the end all be all. Matt Ryan has to get us a championship. Tom Brady has to get us a championship. You know, even Aaron Rodgers has to give us a championship. But when you look at the Aaron Rodgers Green Bay team, that defense was incredible. The Patriots defense was dang good. So why does Matt Ryan have to shoulder all the blame for losing a Super Bowl? Look, they scored 28 points and a half. That should be more than enough. And for a defense to hold a lead, you can't hold a 25 lead as a defense. You have no business in the fucking league or in the Super Bowl at that matter. Exactly. And I'm sorry. I don't know if this is a PG show, but this is absolute. It drives me insane when people say Matt Ryan has to win. Like, who? Where did you get this from? One player does not win a game. One player can't win a game.
If you go back, guys, and whoever listening to this, if you go back and you look at the previous 15 to 18 Super Bowls winners, you're going to see their stats and you're going to see, okay, they had a good defense, all right, and they had a good run game, and then their defense also created a lot of turnovers. Look at the 2010 Green Bay Packers when they won.
Ravens.
That trash number 2 defense in the league. They had the number 2 defense in the league.
Green Bay, yeah, and then they had a lot of turnovers. They turned the ball. I'm telling you, they created a lot of turnovers. Even when they played us in the division, they had what we gave up the ball 2 or 3 times. So like, guys, you guys got to stop like coming to Matt Ryan and saying that he making excuses.
Julio made Matt Ryan. That's ridiculous stuff.
What happened in 2013 when Julio went down? Hold on. What happened in 2013 when Julio went down with an injury, a season-ending injury? Matt Ryan pretty much made Harry Douglas a dog.
What about all the other Hall of Fame quarterbacks that played with Hall of Fame wide receivers? Nobody's saying that. Nobody's saying that about Peyton. Nobody's saying that about Elway. Nobody's saying that. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's saying that about Aikman. Brady, nobody's nobody's saying that about Kurt Warner. Nobody's saying that about Kurt Warner. Good one, Don.
I'm gonna just put it to you like this, man, because I'm all about the numbers. Since the 2000 season, which the Baltimore Ravens won the Super Bowl, every single Super Bowl winner has had an above average defense, minus the 2006 Colts led by that man, Peyton Manning. He had the 25th ranked defense. And Drew Brees had the 17th ranked defense, and then the Giants when they won the second time, and the Ravens, that 2012 Ravens, they had both of those teams had 19. Everybody else was above average. So it's people gotta understand football is a team sport, man. Like all these great quarterbacks that folks consistently say are better than Ryan that have won the Super Bowl. Go look at their defense, man. Everybody was on Nick Foles' train. The Eagles had the number 5 defense when they won the Super Bowl in 2017. The Patriots last year had the 16th ranked defense. It was average, but we have yet to crack 20 in a very, very long time. So I can only imagine if Matt Ryan had the
18
top 5 or top 10 defense. Oh my Lord, that's unheard of.
Antonio responded in the chat, so we'll read your he's basically what he's saying. He's saying 33 mil a year, bro. You must get the job done. He finally has the O-line wide receiver running back.
Wait. Hold on.
I gotta chime in on this one too. Go ahead, Dan.
We're about no.
I think you're about to say I'm about to say too.
I'm done.
Well,
we really about to get into Matt Ryan is making this money and he has the O-line now.
Value.
But
we just signed him. What have we seen him do yet? So you're saying he got the O-line?
First of all, we just signed those 2 guards, but we just drafted those 2 linemen.
We hadn't seen them do anything. What if they suck?
They're not gonna just change everything for 2019. Yeah. Like This was I said this when the draft happened. This was a 2020 draft. This was a 2020 season draft. This was get Lindstrom and get McGarry into a comfortable zone so that they can then give you something in 2020. That's what this draft was. That's why we brought in Carpenter. That's why we brought in Brown, and that's why we retained Sombrilo. And all of those deals are only realistically, if Pat can remember, but aren't they realistically only 2-year deals, 1-year deals for most of them?
Brown is
except for Brown. Yeah, Brown is
Brown is
guaranteed for 2 years. Everybody else is pretty much on 1-year deal.
And then he also says that we have the O-line and running backs. Well, we have a running back coming back off injury, and we have a other bunch of guys that are unproven. So because we signed, like people say we have now, we signed guys. Well, you have to have 57. We're going to have that many. We're going to have 58. Well, regardless. But because we signed O-linemen, that doesn't mean they're good. So that doesn't mean you signed the problem.
No. Forget all that what he's saying about O-linemen, receivers, and running backs. What about the other side of the ball? All right. He has proven without a good defense, he can do it. He can win games. If we can focus on the defense side of the ball, and the defense can hold leads, can create turnovers, then we can probably win the championship.
How
about this?
It's just like I just said, man. If we had won the Super Bowl in 2016, the Falcons would have won it with the worst defense in the last 19 years. Just think about that for a minute.
That's crazy.
That's crazy, man.
That's
how about we get a joke in the special teams and Matt Ryan and I have to go 75, 80 yards every drive.
My God, 100%. Where's our returners though? Who's Justin Hardy, bro? Justin Hardy, bro? Eric Weems, bro? That's
Eric
what we
Weems
got,
is
bro?
my least favorite Falcon of all time. Literally, he's my least favorite Falcon of all time.
This is a good little topic right here. Who is your least favorite Falcon of all time? They can be popular or unpopular.
Eric Weems for me, definitely, dude.
Don?
Eric Weems.
Ray Edwards.
Ray, okay. All right. Mike?
Good.
Thomas Deku, man. I can't stand that.
Okay. Good.
Pat?
Man, I got to say that man, Pierre Jerry, man.
Great. Oh, man.
Ugh.
Wasted first round pick, dog.
Curtis Lofton is my unpopular pick as well.
Jamal Anderson, not the running back Jamal Anderson, but the defensive end.
Defensive end, yeah.
Oh man, that man.
All right.
Number 8 draft pick.
I'm gonna make all you laugh because my least favorite Falcon, and all you guys are just gonna absolutely ball out laughing. But my least favorite Falcon, Peerless Price. Get that man. Get that man out of town right now.
Hold on. In Peerless Price defense, and I'm not trying to give him that much defense anyway.
Mike Vick didn't help him at all. Didn't help that guy at all.
Even when we had Jenkins and Roddy White, those guys was trash until Matt Ryan came and made those receivers respectable.
All right, let's go with a positive mood for a second. Favorite Falcons? Mario?
Oh, that's easy for me.
Julio.
Don?
My favorite Falcon would be right now or just in the past?
Just in general, just favorite Falcon.
I say skip me. I'm thinking.
Okay, Mike.
I come back.
I have to say my favorite Falcon. I probably get toasted for saying this, but my favorite Falcon is Desmond Trufant.
Oh, that's your guy. That's your guy.
Right. Pat?
That's weird, but
got to be that man, John Abraham. Come on now.
Hey.
That's a good one.
All right, mine's Jesse Tuggle.
All right, Tuggle. Yeah.
The Hammer is a good one. Who you got, Dan?
Patrick Kearney, man.
Ooh, PK. Good one.
Patrick Kearney's my boy. He's my dad and I used to have a joke because I was so little when Patrick Kearney was doing his thing. But his mouth guard made him look like his teeth kind of bucked out, kind of looked like he was like a beaver. So I was like, I always called him. Was like, it's the Beaver, man. He goes in there and he just like he chops him down, bro.
Okay. The people in the chat they said Corey Bierman is his worst one. That Georgia boy said he said
Ed Hartwell, strong candidate.
Epic the Gamer, he said his worst ones was Jalen Collins and Bobby Petrino.
I knew somebody was gonna say
head
Deion.
coach.
Damn.
Now here's a good one.
He said favorite Deion Sanders and Julio, and then that Georgia boy 17 he said Grady Jarrett his favorite.
Most underrated Falcon.
Underrated. Man, I have to say probably Julio, not Julio, but Roddy White. I don't think he gets enough credit for how good he is.
Don.
Underrated, I will say Harvey Dahl.
Okay. All right. Pat?
Most underrated Falcon? Man, I'm gonna have to say that man Tyson Claiborne, man.
Nobody's
Mario?
gonna remember mine. Nobody's gonna remember mine. I'm about to show my age right here. You guys gonna have to Google this guy, Eric Pegram, man. Back in the day, man, Eric Pegram. Back in the day, Eric Pegram was the most underrated running back in the league. I'm showing my age right now, but man, back in the day, I used to be like, man, Eric Pegram was the most underrated running back in the league. This dude did everything for the Falcons. Y'all have to Google. I'm sorry, I'm old.
All right, I'm gonna put my foot down here, and I'm also going to go with a running back. I'm gonna go with Jarius Norwood, bro. Super
crazy
underrated.
legs. Crazy legs.
Super underrated.
Man, that dude got in the open field. You can call it a day.
And think about it. If Jarius Norwood was playing in today's league, Kansas City Chiefs looking ass.
Yeah, I would love to see that.
All right, so people in the chat they say Antoine Smith,
Tim Dwight. Antoine Smith, a good one. Yeah.
Tim Dwight was underrated though. Tim Dwight was solid.
Yeah. He helped us a lot. And then
Ovi
Mahalan?
I see an Ovi in there. Ovi and Van Walker, Daryl Moore and TJ Duckett.
I'm surprised anyone didn't say Patrick DeMarco.
Daryl Moore does a lot of work for Georgia Tech. He works over there. So if you're ever around Georgia Tech, you'll see Daryl Moore. I see Daryl talk to Daryl Moore a few times.
Someone said Andrew Crumpler. Somebody said Andrew Crumpler.
Their favorite? Okay, their favorite. Yeah. Nobody said Mike Vick. Underrated? Was Algie underrated?
Man, there's so much Mike Vick talk, but no one said their favorite Falcon of all time was Mike Vick. Thinking emoji.
Good. That means we have some educated fans that are listening to us.
And we got to stay woke around here.
Dude, Mike Vick wasn't one of the best three quarterbacks we've ever had. Mike Vick, I have him like fourth or fifth, maybe even sixth all-time Falcons quarterback. So he's not even the top three.
Look,
I got a good
was
question.
better.
Matt Ryan, Steve McCarthy, and I say Chris Chandler. Those three.
Robbie Hebert was better.
And I'm gonna drop that hot take real quick on y'all, dog.
Hot take from Pat.
I take the 12 games over Vic, dog.
I wouldn't go that far. I don't know about that.
Bean talk.
Atlanta Vic. And what about Philly Vic, Pat?
Philly Vic ain't a Falcon. He's a Philly.
Okay.
Philly Vic was all right.
That was on Andy Reid. Andy Reid pretty much got something out of him.
You're right, Lieutenant Dan. That wasn't Atlanta Vic. It wasn't Atlanta
Philly Vic
right.
was what's his name from Oregon?
Not Achilles Smith.
It was Chip Kelly.
No, Chip Kelly wasn't there in 2009, 2010. That was, Andy Reid was still there. Andy Reid was still with the Eagles till like 2012.
It was still Andy and Donovan McNabb. Yep. It was still Andy Reid.
It was one win. Like Vic was one with the Eagles. He was one win away from going to the Super Bowl, but the Cardinals beat them in the NFC Championship game. That was back in 2000. 2008 season, 2009 playoffs.
Yeah, that's where Bruce Arians got his legacy from.
sworn Chip Kelly was there, and that's why they were running that up-tempo offense with Vic. Or that was after the fact, and then Chip Kelly came in and Vic was there.
Yeah.
Did he come his last year?
Something like that.
That was in 2013. The Chip got there because they had drafted Nick Foles.
Hey, I got one. Who's your all-time favorite Falcons coach? I'm a Dan Reeves guy.
Oh, why is Mario and I like we're agreeing on everything tonight? What's up with that? Is it a full moon, bro?
Man, that's weird, man.
Bro?
Look, I know, right? They want to see us go at it, Dan. We're gonna have to.
I know.
We're gonna have to find something to argue about.
Bro. We do, man. Serious. Hot take: Isaiah Oliver is going to have 10 interceptions this year. Get it?
That's a spicy meatball, Dan. That's not a hot take. That's a spicy meatball.
You know, actually, I will say that. And let's get back to the coaching thing after I say this, but like, I think that Isaiah Oliver is going to have like 2 or 3 interceptions this year, and they're gonna be legitimate interceptions. They're not going to be one of those like, oh, he barely stepped in bounds, or oh, he got a tip ball or something. You're going to see Isaiah Oliver blossom, which brings me to another question. But let's do the coaching thing first. Pat, who's your favorite coach, bro?
Man, my current favorite coach is the man that's still currently employed right now.
Yeah, DQ.
Yes, sir.
Don.
Skip me for a second.
Bad Mike.
I gotta give Jerry Glanville some love, man. He like
what? Jerry G back in black?
He created a culture here, man. He created a culture in Atlanta that he doesn't get enough respect for. He created that prime time, that culture, that
back in black
here. Yes, he
big thing.
That culture.
Yep.
Don, you're the only one left, bro. You can't get skipped.
I'm messing with
Bobby Petrino. He said Bobby Petrino. Let's just say that.
I'm messing with you. No, my favorite coach is Dan Reeves.
Dan Reeves. We got 3 Dan Reeves in
Mike
here.
Smith ain't getting no love, man. That man helped the Falcons come about the shadow realm, didn't he?
Trash.
Man,
he did,
come
but
on, man.
like when we got in the playoffs, like what did he do?
Man, what did that dude ever do besides Matt Ryan's coattail?
Ooh, that's the first time I heard that one.
Come on,
riding Matt Ryan's coattails. Oh,
that's what he did. What did he do?
Hey, hindsight, he kind of in hindsight he did kind of do that, but when he first got here, man, like he at least organized the mess that you know what I'm saying that was created. You know what I'm saying. Because after the whole Vic thing, like, man, we had Falcons fans was like jumping trains and stuff like that, man.
He's supposed to be a defensive guru that never built a great defense.
We got time for one more set of questions, Don, and Mario. We can.
Yeah, we got some more.
I'm good for one more.
Yeah. Okay. So I want to throw this one out. I think you guys can think about this for just a moment. But what current player on the Falcons roster is going to have a breakout season this year? Who's going to be a big time contributor for the Falcons this year? And you can split it up in offense and defense if you want to. So you can do 2 each, but I'm gonna just do one player for me, just for me, and I'll go last as well.
I'll go first on offense. On defense. I see Keanu coming back like he never missed a beat. I see Keanu coming back with a vengeance. He's that guy I just think has that attitude that works out angry, and he can't wait to come back. So I think Keanu. And on offense, I think that Austin Hooper takes that next step and becomes a Pro Bowl tight end type 8-9 touchdown guys, 800-900 yards guy this year.
Yeah, I was thinking Austin Hooper on offense. I really think he's gonna have a breakout season. On defense, everybody go hate me for this, but I think Desmond Trufant, he's gonna have a breakout year too.
Go Pat.
My chance, all right, cool. So mine, nobody gonna agree with mine, but it is what it is. Let's start with defense, man. I don't know how Dan gonna feel about this, but I think that man Isaiah Oliver is gonna have a Jalen Ramsey 2017 type of season, dog. I think he's gonna be a certified top 5 corner in the league. I think he's gonna be top 5 in the league in interceptions, and I think he's gonna be top 3 in pass deflections. Don't at me. And then on offense, again, man, y'all not gonna agree with me. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say a rookie. I'm gonna say that bad man from Boston College, Chris Lindstrom, gonna come in. He gonna win the right guard spot, and I'm gonna say that man makes the Pro Bowl as a rookie at right guard. Let's go,
Mike. Well, I have to say this on offense. I have to say this guy that we're expecting him to do big things, but I think that Calvin Ridley is going to have an amazing year, and we're going to see the first time in a long time 2 guys that are unbelievable, that like top level receivers, top 5 talent in Calvin Ridley, because I think his game is just the only thing he's missing is just the physical nature of football, and that's going to come in time. On defense, this is hard for me, but I think he's going to make it hard for us. I think he's going to make it hard for us to get rid of him, and that's Ricardo Allen. I think Ricardo will come back with a vengeance. He's going to have at least 5 interceptions, because Ricardo is a guy who is a dirty player. He's a grimy player, and he lives in he relishes in the moment. So I think he's going to come back, show us what he is about, and he's going to ball, man. He's going to leave Dan Quinn and Tommy Spriggle with a hard decision to make.
All right, well, I guess this leaves me. So since we're all doing 2, I guess I'll pull one more out of my ass. That way we can have 2 guys on both sides. But on offense, I'm going to say Eric Saubert. I think Eric Saubert gets used more this year, and we're going to actually see him catch a couple balls, and we're going to go, oh, so Eric Saubert is a real deal, like a real thing. Like that's something that we have in our offense, our arsenal. And I think he catches actually like 2 or 3 touchdowns this year. I think a lot of people are going to be surprised by that. I think that Austin Hooper is going to eat, but you're going to see scenarios where Saubert gets into the back of the end zone, catches a touchdown, or makes a really big clutch catch, and people are going to be like, Saubert though, like, this guy's real. On defense, I have 2 guys actually, but one of them is like we're kind of expecting him to do well, and another one is like nobody's talking about him at all. So that's my actual pick. But I think Dejan Sonata is going to take a jump this year, and we're going to look at him and go, "Whoa, where did you come from?" Right? Yeah, like where did Dejan Sonata come from? That's a hell of a pick. I think the entire 2018 class is going to have a very interesting year, but. The other guy that I just want to highlight very quickly, and I think it kind of comes full circle what we've been talking about, so maybe I just let it kind of slip, but I think Vic Beasley's actually going to have a solid year. And we're gonna look at Vic, and we're going to be like, utilized in the proper way, we're going to look at Vic Beasley in a different light. Not necessarily that he's going to ball out this year, right, but I think all the things that Vic Beasley could have been doing right over these last couple of years, and for one reason or another, it hasn't come to fruition. I think that Vic Beasley actually makes that step this year with Dan Quinn as his tutor. And we all go, oh, so if Vic Beasley's not overplayed, if he's not asked to be a lead rusher, if he's not asked to be on the field, 90% of the game, and he's just being asked to come out here and play solid football, especially as a linebacker as well. We're going to see Vic Beasley, and we're going to go, that's how Vic Beasley needs to be used, and then he gets another contract from this team. But that's just my 2 cents. I got to get out of here, guys.
All right.
So let me plug my stuff.
Yeah, go ahead,
man. You guys can find me Unintentional Grounding on YouTube, as well as Unintentional Grounding on Twitch. I'm really going hard on the Twitch channel, so if you guys want to check me out, we play video games over there. And we do some Falcons film breakdowns and football talk as well, kind of get an inside view of Lieutenant Dan's life and what he's all about. I also have a Instagram and a Twitch. That's UNGR_show on Twitter and Instagram. And you can check us out as well. Did I say everything? Yeah, I did say everything. Okay, we cool. I'm losing my mind a little bit because I've got this really bad headache, and I'm just like, okay, let's cut it down.
Well, we'll talk to you later, Dan.
All right, take it easy, guys.
I appreciate you.
All right. Before we wrap up, let's get the comments out of the chat real quick.
Yeah, but let me say this about Vic. Like Vic almost had a solid season last year. Okay, if you look at his pressure percentage, like he had the best pressure percentage on the team. Okay, and also he could have had 4 more sacks. He had like 6 sacks last season, I believe. He was almost got close to getting 10 sacks. So he was very close to getting double-digit sacks last season. So it's just the thing, he just didn't finish them.
He left a lot of them out, man. That was missed tackles and stuff like that. Yeah. No, I was actually gonna say something on the same lines of it's gonna be a hot take, man, but I feel like Dan Quinn is gonna move him around. And I'll say this. Vic is gonna be one of those guys I could see him getting 2, maybe even 3 interceptions. See him in the season with around like 8 to 9 sacks. And I think he's really going to be an asset. You know, nobody talks about this. I think he's going to be a tremendous asset against the pass. Because I think once he establishes his ability to cover, I think he's going to take the flat away. I think he's going to help Deion take that away. And I think that the threat of him going to rush the quarterback and dropping in the coverage is going to help disguise a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
A couple of guys in the chat wanted to answer the questions. That Georgia boy, that the man in black, Jerry, is his favorite coach, and he sees Oliver getting about 8 picks this year as well. Mike Smith getting some hate in the chat. Daryl Moore, his favorite, he sees Ito emerging on offense this year, and the Epic Gamer, he sees Devontae Freeman and Deion Jones. I guess you're saying they're gonna go to either higher level, that's superstar level. If those two go to another level, because they're already big time
how high
players.
can you go? Like,
I guess they'll have right guard commercials.
right?
That Georgia boy, he said Oliver is gonna break out. Okay, so everybody's high on Oliver. And he says that he's been high since they got him. Jonathan Polsky said he sees Hageman being a breakout. That's an interesting one too. Some people don't even know if Hageman gonna make the team, Jonathan. So that's once again, it goes back to that competition. But that will be a good one to break out. Look, that's 2 different D tackles that we named that might break out. Daryl Moore feels like Campbell is going to do some work on defense. And they like the Lindstrom pick. Lindstrom.
Hold on. Campbell. Is this a Campbell?
I guess he's saying that he thinks Campbell's gonna take the next step. I'm not the biggest Campbell guy.
How many steps he need, man? He done had 10 steps already, man.
I want him to just stop engaging people on Twitter.
Right?
Come on, man.
Stop arguing with fans. Like, fans are idiots. Don't argue with them.
Hey, man, that man Campbell made me mad when he took that shot at Peyton, man. I ain't appreciate that, man. I'm a huge Peyton Manning fan, dog. I don't appreciate that.
Yeah. And R. Chapman said, let's not forget about Quadri Allison. I think everybody on this panel is pretty high on Quadri as well, Chapman. And that Georgia boy agreed with that. And Sanat, they think that Sanat will also, Frank Dozier said he thinks that Sanat will step up. And Antonio Stark said, nobody said Tack. Yeah, that's interesting, Antonio. Nobody said Tack. I thought about that as well.
Because Tack is too obvious, man.
Tack is
gonna do his job.
That's just like saying Julio Jones is gonna have 1,400 yards this season. Like, that's automatic.
We know that.
Yeah.
But I give you one more. I'll give you one more guy that I think is that nobody's paying any attention to. They just look at him just another white boy. And I'm sorry to say it like that, but they just look at him as just another white boy. And that's John Cominsky. I think John Cominsky is going to play a vital role to this defense. both on base defense and in nickel pass rusher situation. Because when I look at him, he reminds me of, and I probably get torn to pieces when I say this,
Patrick
but he
Kearney.
reminds me of a Patrick Kearney and
Yep.
currently a JJ Watt. And I say that because JJ Watt, he is an athlete, but he wins with power. And I think that's how John Cominsky is gonna, kind of differentiate from, you go from Vic Beasley winning with speed and quickness, and you bring in John Cominsky. Man, that's gonna be hell for a right
Almost.
tackle. That's gonna be
I,
hell for a right tackle to pit up with a guy that is as fast as Vic Beasley, and then you have to come in and just go against a John Cominsky who's pretty dang on strong. Yeah, that's gonna be a problem, man.
yeah, a defensive thunder and lightning.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
Mhm. All right. So I guess the article came out today, not today, but a couple of days ago on SB Nation. It said time is ticking for this era of Atlanta Falcons. Like I get what they were saying. Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, and the core we've been having since what I say 2011. People saying our window is closing and everything, but windows, and Lieutenant Dan said this before, like windows can always open back up.
Mm-hmm.
You can always open the window back up. And I don't agree with this article at all. Y'all can go read it. It's on their website, SB Nation. But like I really feel like we were still making the right moves to go in the right direction. Like we already knew we didn't have the depth. We didn't have the players in the trenches to win games. So we did everything we could this offseason to correct those. And we're just gonna see how we play this year.
Look, man, if that were true, man, that windows are closing, well, Peyton Manning should have never won the championship in Denver. All right, Tom Brady should have been trashed a long time ago. This man 40 years old and he's still winning. So I don't want to hear crap about window closing.
Not only that, but look at
John Elway.
I hate to say this, but look at I hate to say this, but look at the Saints. Drew Brees all of a sudden these past couple of seasons.
Right. So say miss me with all that, man.
I think what people don't understand about the whole windows being open or closed thing is the NFL is a year-to-year league. And what I mean by that is the NFL, if you can invent something new or if you can maximize a trend, if you can get hot at the right time, then that is your window. And you see it every single year. Every year, a new team rolls out this brand new package of weapon that takes the league by storm. Like, look at what we did for 20. Everybody hate Alvin Kamara. Guess what? We created that in 2016 with the way we was using Tevin Coleman. And the Saints just copied that because the NFL is a copycat league. So if the Falcons can be innovative and they can do something that's new, and I talked about this, you know what I'm saying? I'm a huge Peyton Manning fan.
Oh, yeah.
But if you look at Peyton Manning when he first got to Denver, they used a ton of no huddle. They used a ton of tempo, right? And they use that to catch defenses sleeping because nowadays everybody is catering to rushing the quarterback. So they have to rely on all these different personnel and rotations, especially on the D line. So if you use a ton of tempo, they can't rotate those smaller guys out. Guess what? Those guys get tired after a couple of snaps. You can run the ball on them. You know what I'm saying? I think that if the Falcons can recreate something like that, that's going to shock and surprise the league. And if they get hot, especially towards the back half of the season, that's how you make Super Bowl runs right there.
Exactly.
That's the Patriots. That's a great point.
The team that get hot late.
That's the Patriots. They did that last season. They was a passing team early on most of the season. Then all of a sudden, towards the end of the season, they started running the ball and using big sets with Gronkowski and Sony Michel. They ran the ball down their throat. That's how they won the championship. So
and look who did the opposite of what the Patriots did. The Saints.
Yep.
Look what happened with them.
They did the complete opposite.
They run the ball at the very beginning of the season, and then I guess after that Thanksgiving game when Trufant had pretty much messed up Drew Brees' shoulder, they start they start throwing the ball.
Excuse, man. Don't believe that bull crap, man. That's a ton of excuses. That man was healthy, man. Don't believe that mess.
Man, I want to
It's just
say
like,
if True really messed up Drew Brees, man,
come on, bro.
it,
I don't believe
I
this, man.
don't know, man. I
It's
don't
just
know.
like
But anyway,
it's like Damian Lillard talking about he got cracked ribs. They down 3-0 now. Now you want to talk about your ribs cracked, man? Get out of here with that mess, man. Get out of here. A ton of excuses. We got our behind whipped in the Super Bowl. No excuses. You got your butt whipped. Guess what? You got to take it.
you know how the Saints are, man. They don't do that. They
They
always want to
still
come
crying,
everybody
man.
else.
They
Yeah.
Hey,
still
on
crying.
that note, hey, let's not no ain't talk. Don't give him no gas.
I ain't trying to get them. Yeah. All right. Last topic tonight. So one of our hometown followers sent me a link to a YouTube video, and it's a guy got by the name Fisk Vegas. I don't know what type of name that is, but I guess. And I watched most of the video, and pretty much what I got out of the video, he said that he was pretty much comparing 2015 Cam Newton, 2016 Matt Ryan, and he pretty much saying that which quarterback would I choose from that year. He chose 2015 Cam Newton over 2016 Matt Ryan.
Can I go first?
And his reason why he said because Matt Ryan choked in the Super Bowl. Now we talked about this a while. We talked
Whoa, what?
Hold on. Yeah.
Hey, hold
We
on.
all
No,
saw
Hey,
Cam.
Go
hey,
ahead,
hold
Pat. Do your
on.
thing, Pat. Do your thing,
Hold on,
Pat.
hey,
hold on.
you go ahead. You about to say what I'm about to say. If I'm not mistaken, that man jumped away from a live fumble in the Super Bowl,
Thank
man.
you.
I'm
We
trying
all
to
He
saw
tell you,
jumped
that.
away
man.
from a fumble, man. Like,
And
come on.
what lead did they have? And what league did they
Oh
have
man.
in the Super Bowl? And here's my thing. I contacted him and I said, hey, like I have a problem with what you said, and I really want us to talk about this because like I'm all about educating people. I'm really am, especially the Matt Ryan haters. I'm all about educating. We have the facts for you.
Man,
Like we had in 2016, Matt Ryan. This man and this offense broke so many records. Okay, he threw touchdowns to pretty much anybody on the team who could catch. Okay, now
Everybody got to call the touchdown
everybody got it.
pass.
exactly.
You get a catch,
Like
you get a catch, you get a touchdown, you get a touchdown.
this man this man broke so many records, and like we had like every game with 30 points a game. Like you look at, and this was with no good defense. Okay, our special teams was trash, and yes, we had a good running game, but it wasn't like we didn't have like the top 5 running game in the league. If I recall, but you go to 2015, Cam Newton. Okay, and I'm not trying to, and I'm taking my Falcons fan and I'm just thinking that it's just a football perspective. Okay, so I'm not trying to favor my team over another. But as I recall, in 2015, Cam Newton he had the best defense. Okay,
Yeah, I think it was the second best defense. Yeah, DVOA number two defense.
yes, had the best defense. All right, they was okay on the ground because he pretty much and Cam Newton ran the ball a lot, and also their special teams pretty much helped them out. And going back to the defense, they created a lot of turnovers. So they put Cam Newton in
Short fields.
yes, they put him in positions to score. But Fitz Vegas, I like what you're saying because Matt Ryan took the Super Bowl. Sir, look, football is a team effort. Okay, football is a team effort. Matt Ryan did not choke. He put 28 points on the board. Our defense, they can hold it, but you're gonna sit here and you're gonna point a figure at one person and a person that pretty much gave us the lead. Come on.
To the best of my knowledge, did not Matt Ryan throw that amazing pass that shouldn't have been caught? He put it in a perfect spot. That doesn't look like he choked to me. He scored 28 points. All right, they scored 30 points in the game. Is that not enough? Is that not enough to win the game? I think it is. So you look at this entire situation. First of all, this dude name is Fitz Vegas. I could never take him serious with a name like that. But when you look at football in its entirety, man, I say this all the time. We got to stop giving quarterbacks all the credit because, like we've been saying, the Carolina Panthers are a direct correlation of what we're trying to replicate now. That team is what we want. That team, that 2015 Carolina Panthers is what we want. A hard-nosed defense who can create turnovers, you can run the ball, and control the clock. That's what we need to win the Super Bowl. So people, man, anybody with any common sense, there's literally nothing outside of running the ball that Cam can do better than any quarterback in this league. He's a terrible quarterback. He's the worst quarterback in the league, starting quarterback in the league. Yes, I said it. He is the worst quarterback. All Cam Newton does is throw out routes to Christian McCaffrey and run the ball. And I can do that. I can do that, bro.
Hey, man, you know what? Hey, man, the disrespect to compare the 2015 and the 2016 Matt Ryan, he would have had a better argument of comparing the 2018 Matt Ryan to the 2015 Cam Newton. And Matt Ryan last year still had the better passer rating, the same amount of pass touchdowns. He was sacked. He was sacked 9 more times than Cam was that year. His yards per attempt were more. He had 3 rushing touchdowns. Cam had 10, but isn't Cam a running quarterback? So you expect for him to score more running the football. Matt had 3. And then Matt caught a touchdown as well. Cam didn't catch no touchdown. So come on, man.
And here's my thing. If you go compare Matt Ryan, like at least compare him to 2011 Aaron Rodgers. All right. He won the MVP that year, I believe. That was after the year after they won the Super Bowl. And their numbers was, I don't want to say similar, but you know, you want to compare something, compare Matt Ryan to a respectable quarterback, an elite quarterback. Don't compare him to somebody who pretty much had a fluke season. That's what Cam Newton had. He had a fluke season.
You know what I would do, man? I'm gonna find this dude on Twitter. I'm gonna go on Pro Football Reference and I'm gonna make a little comparison thing because you could do that kind of little tool to compare seasons and stuff. I'm gonna compare all the MVP quarterbacks since 2000. I'm gonna put them all on the spreadsheet, and then I want you to see how it compares, man. And you look at Cam and the rest of those quarterbacks outside of rushing, which that's what he does, man. It's not even close, man.
Yeah. I would be interested to see that. I don't even have a take on that because that's ridiculous. I'm not even gonna waste my time on that. I'm ready to watch phones. That guy's an idiot. Like anybody who thinks that Cam Newton is a better quarterback than Matt Ryan, I just like I say, I'm not gonna do it anymore. I'm not even gonna do it. Exactly.
There are smart. Believe it or not, there are smart Carolina Panther fans who pretty much tell me that they'd rather have Matt Ryan as a quarterback than Cam Newton.
Yeah,
like that goes to show you.
They confuse, and like I say, us Falcons fans, we do the same thing. They confuse crunk with good. They like to see the antics from Cam. You know what I'm saying? But you know that doesn't equate. Same as Michael Vick. He was exciting. That doesn't mean he was good. You know, he was exciting. He was fun to watch. Doesn't mean he's a Hall of Famer because he can run around. That's not what that means. He was exciting to watch, but it didn't translate to any championships or enough wins.
Not one. Yep.
All right, go ahead and read the fans in the chat.
All right, where we left off. Yeah, folks were sleeping on John Comiskey. That was Chapman tuned in with that.
I haven't slept. I mocked him to us.
Yeah, but no, he was chiming in when we were saying people who were breaking out.
Okay.
And that Georgia boy said Dallas messed up Drew Brees, saying he got hurt then. Antonio Starks, yep, Matt Ryan didn't mess up the Super Bowl. That was coach fault, run the damn ball. Of course, we all know that. Antonio, the real educated Falcons fans or football fans know that, period. Dan Quinn cost us that Super Bowl by doing the same thing he did against Tom Brady 2 years before that, by going to a prevent defense the whole second half, stay in the defense he ran in the first half, and that was Frank Dozier said that. And
Pause. I think Dan Quinn. I think that defense did a good job. It's just New England. They had a good offense that year. All right, and Seattle. They was pretty much on the brink of scoring, and what happened? They threw an interception. So that one, I won't blame it on Dan Quinn that much. That was pretty much Pete Carroll's fault.
Well, I just pulled in this filter. It only lets me put in 6 names. So I put in the MVPs for the past since 2013. So you got Pat Mahomes 2018, Brady last year, Matt Ryan 2016, Cam Newton 15, Aaron Rodgers 14, Peyton Manning 2013. Check this out, man. Regular season, right? Matt Ryan had the highest average quarterback rating, and he was also tied for third amongst those 6 quarterbacks with 38 touchdowns. Obviously, Manning had the most 55 and 13. Pat Mahomes had. Then it was Ryan tied with Aaron Rodgers when Aaron Rodgers won the MVP. Then you look at interceptions in the regular season. Matt Ryan had the second lowest interceptions amongst all those 6 MVP quarterbacks I just listed. Now it gets better. People said Matt Ryan can't win in the playoffs. Check this out. Matt Ryan has by far the highest passer rating the year he won the MVP and his team made the playoffs. He had a 135.3 passer rating. The second highest is Tom Brady in 2017 with a 108.6. Matt Ryan also has the most playoffs touchdowns out of all those MVP quarterbacks in their MVP seasons and the least amount of interceptions. And by the way, he was tied for getting sacked the most with 8 during the playoffs.
He didn't even throw. I don't think he threw a pick in the playoffs in 2000.
Nope,
he didn't. Yep, no, he didn't.
So that you go. Even if you go back to the regular season, Matt Ryan was the most sacked quarterback out of all the MVP quarterbacks.
And I think that's how I think that stat right there ended, and we shouldn't have to say we'll revisit this, because by far this moves the needle. This topic moves the needle the most on Twitter. And it is, but it's still a moot point. But we all know this moves the most. This nothing riles your timeline up like Matt Ryan talk. Nothing else like it.
But you know what though? We're gonna end up revisiting that topic sometime this summer, and we're gonna invite some people on who pretty much hate Matt Ryan, who also probably love Mike Vick or whatever, and we go invite. I'm gonna ask Vanilla Falcon to come on.
Get her little self to come on.
Huh?
Get her little self to come on. Yeah, she like running quarterback. She said we need a running quarterback.
We might also get Derek come on too.
Get KB.
And I'm telling you, if you come on, you better bring facts. You better bring stats, because you come on here and say, "Oh,
we need to run. We need to run the ball. We need to run the ball. We need to run. We need another Michael Vick." No, shut that shit up.
Like, this is my thing. If you can prove your point, I don't got no issue with that. But here's the thing, man. Don't come telling me that you hate Matt Ryan just because you don't like him, because he doesn't run around or whatever. But you can't back that up with any kind of substantial facts, because now you just hate it. That's the definition of being a hater. Like, if you come over here and you can show me some numbers, maybe I'll even sit down and watch some film with you that you can show me that proves your point. Great. But if you can't do that, if you just, hey, I don't like Matt Ryan because, his favorite color is orange. Come on, man. Like, because, hey, man, I do this all day. I'll pull any kind of number that proves, man. Matt Ryan, out of all those MVP quarterbacks, man, was by far the most efficient guy. I just showed you everything. Yeah, he might not have had 50 touchdowns like Mahomes and Brady, but when you talk about passer rating, completion percentage, he was the best. And he was by far the better quarterback in the playoffs.
What about, and that's another thing, Pat, that they always say about Matt Ryan, is that he doesn't come in the clutch. Dude, how many times did he have to do this? How many times did he have to do it by himself? We lost the Super Bowl because the defense couldn't hold.
He has more more fourth quarter drive wins than any other quarterback, but it doesn't
Mhm.
come through in the clutch. But then they're gonna say, "Oh, it's because he lost the game and what's the
He
name?" But he
just
had,
passed. He just
it doesn't.
passed Mr. Clutch. He
He should
just
have been
passed Mr. Clutch and Joe Montana. So don't tell me that he's not a clutch quarterback.
Yeah. That Georgia boy, I have asked Derek to come up. I have asked him to come on. I'll ask him again, but he wants to come on and throw insults at Matt Ryan. We're like, man,
But
give me
let's keep
some
it
data.
100. And I hope he listening to me. Look, man, I ain't got no smoke with you. I really don't.
I
Like,
do. I
like
do.
I really don't. Like,
I
it's
want
nothing,
all the smoke. I want
nothing,
all of it.
yeah, nothing personal. But as a
Yeah.
Falcons fan and as a podcaster, like you do, like the stuff you be saying is pretty much in left field. Like, come on the show, we'll talk it out. You say what you got to say, and I'm gonna say what I got to say. And if whoever looks embarrassed, they just looks embarrassed. I promise you this: it ain't gonna be me. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah. Mad Mike,
Yo, what's happening?
what you trying to plug, man?
Man, you already know how I do it, man. You guys can check me at Mad Mike Sports on YouTube, Mad Mike Sports at IG and Twitter. Just come holler at me, man. Ask a question, man. Any question that you ask, I will put it in video form and answer the best way I can, man. It's all about the people, man. I talk to the people, I chat with the people. It's pretty much the people show, man. I'm just the guy that runs it all. That's all.
Pat, let them know
Hey
where they can
man,
check you out at.
you can find me at the Real Pattman on Twitter, man. I don't do Facebook and Instagram. I hang out in Dan's Discord, man. Like, hey, just drop by, man. We real friendly folks, man. All I want to do is help educate folks, man. Because last thing I want to see is Falcons fans out there, man. They blind, don't know what's going on, man. I want folks to be woke on what's really going on. Because if you have the knowledge and understanding of what you're seeing, then you can develop a better perspective of what's going on around you.
I'm Coach Mario. You can find me at Coach Mario on both IG and Twitter. Uh, Nothing to plug, but this show, come holler at your boys on the FILA Sports Podcast, of course. And all my college football fans know I'm a big college football guy. We are within 100 days. I think we're on like 95 or something like that to college football kicks off.
Speaking of college football, next week we're gonna be talking some Georgia Tech football.
Oh,
So
I knew
we're
that, Mike.
fans, look, man,
it's gonna be a boring show. It's gonna be boring.
Okay, but we're hometown
And we
podcast.
don't have no tech hate.
We gotta cater to everybody. So hey, but like we'll talk some Georgia Tech football next week. Come join us. And week after that, I'm going to be in attendance to the Atlanta United game, and I'm also going to be going to a Braves game. So if you're there, if you go to a game, just hit me up. I don't mind. Come holler at me, take pictures or whatever the case may be.
I won't take pictures with you.
Hey, if they don't, hey, hey, buy me a drink or something. That's all. Hey, I really.
You don't drink. Buy him a Coke. You buy me a beer. I drink.
That's why I call it a drink, a Coke. I don't drink.
You buy me a beer. Yeah.
Yeah. But please, comment if you're watching this show after it goes off the air or whatever. Please comment. We normally get back to our people who comment within like 12 hours. And also please hit that like button. Please share this video with your friends or any people that's also a fan of any Atlanta sports. This video really Atlanta Falcons. And also please hit that subscribe button. We really appreciate y'all support as always. Come holler
at your
hometown sports podcast.
Thank everybody who joined us in the chat tonight, man. Thank y'all.
All right, good night. Y'all have a good evening, and we'll see y'all next week.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.